This is Scott Vanderpool, and you're listening to the Artist Edition Index Podcast, Episode 62.
I went down to the St. James Infirmary, found my baby there, stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fast.
Thank you for joining me once more. For this monthly look at everything that occurred at the Artist Edition Index at aeindex.org, and I take it to life, or as much as I say each month, as much life as I can get in my voice. A bit of a busy month. January was. The most important thing of January to me was the Dunbeer Awards. The 2021 Dunbeer Awards went up live January 1st. Only 3 books published in 2021, so there's only 3 books to vote on. That's EC Cover's Artist Edition, Jim Lee's X-Men Artist Edition, and Nexus: The Coming of Grimmondo Deluxe Edition. Those 3 books, AE format books, were released in 2021 and therefore were eligible for voting. Now the voting ends today, January 31st at midnight, and the results I will put up tomorrow, most likely. You can always come and see the votes, but I should have them up tomorrow. Looking at it right now, it's a pretty clear winner. I don't think that's going to change. You never know. And we'll talk more about the votes in next month's podcast. Because, the month is not over. It's still time. So if you have not voted, please come take a look. If you did come and you got an error on the page when you tried to view the results, I've been battling a plugin for my website for these results, and it's caching and eliminating caching for this page, and it's been a real uphill battle, and I won't be using this voting plugin again for these awards. I will go to a different one that I've got lined up. So that's disappointing. But if you do run across the error, you can just refresh your page and it should load for you. All right, that is the big news. Now, some other exciting things happened in January. I got a chance to talk to Scott Dunbier on the phone, and there's some things coming up there. So we're gonna do a Q&A shortly, and we can have some exciting things from that. So I'll look forward to that in the coming weeks. Hopefully, we'll go up in February as well. I have a chance to talk to Bob Chapman from Graffiti Designs. I'm talking to him this week. So we'll see how that conversation goes and what I can turn that into as far as input for the website. I've got some questions. I'm hoping to get some answers. Just as a bit of a teaser, yes, Graffiti's still working on that Brian Boland Killing Joke Gallery Edition. So let's see if that will come to fruition. All right. No real letters this month. Most of the mail I got was all about L'Esprit de Will Eisner, which is one of the 3. Well, I reviewed 2 books and then, I took an overall look at some catalogs. But when I reviewed this, L'Esprit de Will Eisner, I had purchased 5 copies from France, and then I got them shipped to me in Canada, and the BD Fugue was the website that shipped to Canada. And I had some customs, I had to pay some tax and some handling. Anyways, I got my 5 copies, and within 15 minutes of me posting the review online, my 4 extras sold immediately. So, that's exciting that the extra copies sold and people were able to get them. I know shipping was a bit pricey on single books. That's actually why I ended up ordering 5 books, because shipping was the same, or actually less. So I thought, this book was €30. I guess I could order 10, but when we get to more expensive books, I'm hesitant to order. Even 5 seems like a lot. Some books that have come up, I have been ordering some extra copies. I'm working on the AE Index store, trying to get some inventory there. So I was happy to get these 4 copies and sell them. But yeah, not a lot of, there was a brouhaha on the forums about just posting and things. It was kind of silly. And I didn't respond to it because it was just, silly. But just as a go forward, if Scott Dunbier wants to do a Zoom, it looks like I will probably post it for him on my site and won't be going through the forums for that. So just a little heads up. We'll see. I will offer that, and maybe he doesn't want to do any more Zooms. We had some. They were pretty successful. But with nothing new to discuss, I think it's hard to do you can do a Q&A, and answer some questions. But this is the issue with these books, and I guess books in general, right? You get somebody who's maybe new to the community, which is awesome. It's always wonderful to see people come to the to see artist editions or the AE format, and then they see, oh, there's this book, right? So immediately the first thing people have is, oh, what about this book? Well, can this comic be made into it? And then, so those of us who've been around a long time know that's just not the case. That can't just be made into an artist edition, and it's a bit disheartening I think for new people, but it is the reality of it. The art has to be collected by somebody. It has to be found and collected. I mean, found is the most important thing. I think all the low-hanging fruit has been collected as it is. And if the only thing holding back anything that's already in a group is either the person holding it or a licensing fee. But now you got to find pages. You got to put it together. You got to get it published. It all takes time, effort, money. My goal is still I want to start doing AE format books of newspaper strips. I've got some sources lined up at different universities in the United States. But then COVID hit, border lockdowns. I have not been able to travel, so all my plans have been put aside. But I do plan. And then, of course, Kickstarter seemed to be the obvious platform for that. But now there's been a lot of feedback against Kickstarter because of their plans to do... I forget. This is technological changes they're making. So I may have to look for a different platform. Maybe Zoop will be willing to accept me. I don't know. I've got to get my material. I've got to get my plans together. Got to get my design. Have to have a package ready to offer somebody, and then maybe we'll shop around and see. Wayne Allen Herald seems to like Indiegogo. I've seen that successful as well. So have to wait and see. But we got to get through COVID first. So I'm thinking, if the border opens at some point, I can get over there, look at the pages I'm looking at, look at scans, see how many books. I'd love to do 10. I'd love to do 20, but I'd like to plan out 5 and then see what start working on the material, whatever is easiest. If something is public domain, that's probably my best bet. Moving forward from something like that, and then I can look at other things. How many pages are available? What's the licensing like? What format? Blah blah blah. Cost, of course, is the big thing, right? So, anyways. We'll see what happens with that. All right. No real focus this month other than the Dunbeer Awards. I should mention the shipping changes. We had quite a few shipping changes this month. So John Buscema's Marvel Heroes Artist Edition moved to February 9th or February 8th, depending on where you're getting it from. But I'm getting it from a comic shop, so it'll be in the 9th, which is Wednesday. Those who pre-ordered from IDW, especially the variant covers and things, probably already got theirs. But those of us waiting for the regular cover through our local comic shops, we got to wait. All right, then John Buscema's Silver Surfer Artisan Edition is now March 16th. And then we had Judge Dredd by Brian Boland Apex Edition moved to April 20th because of paper shortages in Europe. They posted that. That was nice. And then we have an edition, Gil Kane's The Amazing Spider-Man Artisan Edition for July 13th. So that's exciting. A lot of artisan editions coming out this year. I'd like to see more artist editions, but we'll take what we can get as it rolls, right? So, we're only in January. We've only got solicitations, to, what's posted, right? So it's interesting because now we've got the break from IDW will not be distributing through Diamond as of June. Penguin Random House is handling their books anyway. So you can always go to prhcomics.com and then sort by publisher, and then they have a little tab that says... Let's go to it. I think it says already released or already shipping, and you turn that off, and then it shows you every book that Penguin Random House knows is coming out. And then so you'll see things, actually at this point I've seen things all the way up to October. And of course the page is not loading and we're live. So all right, here we go. All right, so you go prhcomics.com, you go publishers, pick IDW Publishing, you wait for it. There's a filter. It says filtered by, and there's an already on sale, and there's an X beside that. You click the X, and then it will show you pub date, newest to oldest, right? So then we look right now, and I'm seeing things in October. I'm seeing the Obscure Cities. I'm seeing 2 Obscure Cities books. Those aren't artist editions, but there's nothing new as far as AE format books listed. So we're all the way up to October, so we got to wait. I'm hoping to see, we're hoping to see at least 3 from IDW this year, so we'll have to see what happens there. All right. So those are shipping changes. We talked about the Dunbeer Awards. Let's move on to out-of-print sales. That occurred in December of 2021. All right. 1 copy of Basil Wolverton's Weird Worlds Artist Edition sold for $140. 2 copies of Batman The Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller Gallery Edition sold for an average of $247.50. 1 copy of Bernie Wright's An Artifact Edition second print sold for $214.99. 2 copies of Best of AC Artist Edition Volume 2 sold for an average of $207.99. 1 copy of Conan Red Nails Original Art Archives Volume 1 sold for $216.43. 2 copies of Dave Cockrum's X-Men Artifact Edition sold for an average of $134.97. 1 copy of Dave Stevens' The Rocketeer Artist Edition first print sold for $179.99. 1 copy of Dave Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again Artist Edition sold for $479. Oof, it's getting close to our all-time high, but that's not the high. 1 copy of Don Rose's The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck, Volume 1, sold for $200. I think here's a book I think we're going to see steadily rising. That one's interesting. 2 copies of Frank Cho's Savage Wolverine sold for an average of $147.48. 1 copy of Frank Miller's Daredevil Artifact Edition sold for $199.99. 2 copies of Frank Miller's Sin City, The Hard Goodbye Curator's Collection sold for an average of $102.48, so below cover still. 4 copies of Gene Colan's Tomb of Dracula Artist Edition sold for an average of $249.95. Well over double the cover price. Book is only 4 years old. Wow, that's interesting that one sees so much traction still. 4 copies of Gil Kane's Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition sold for an average of $139. 1 copy of Jack Kirby Commandy, The Last Boy on Earth Artist Edition sold for $44.05. Best bargain of December 2021. 3 copies of Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four Artist Edition sold for an average of $169.99. 3 copies of Jim Starlin's Marvel Cosmic Artifact Edition sold for an average of $131.56. 1 copy of Joe Kubert's Tarzan and the Lineman Artist Edition sold for $124.99. 1 copy of John Buscema's Silver Surfer Artist Edition sold for $199.95. 2 copies of John Byrne's Fantastic Four Artist Edition sold for an average of $269.97. Big increase there. 1 copy of John Byrne's Marvel Classics Artifact Edition sold for $149.95. 3 copies of John Byrne's X-Men Artifact Edition sold for an average of $437.35. Yowzers. That's some craziness there. 1 copy of John Romita's Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition sold for $399.99. Wow. This one is interesting. A reader emailed me about it. Faithful reader of the website, and mentioned that he was looking at it and contacted the seller on eBay, and it said a red copy. The back was ripped. It was just a terribly beat up copy, but still it sold for $399.99. It was frightening. 1 copy of John Romita's The Amazing Spider-Man. Oh, I just did that. Sorry. Volume 2 sold for $139.99. 5 copies of Michael Golden's Micronauts Artist Edition sold for an average of $211.99. 1 copy of Mike Mignola's Hellboy and Hell and Other Stories Artist Edition second print sold for $219.99. 1 copy of Ross Andrews' The Amazing Spider-Man Artist Edition sold for $200. I think that's the most this book has ever sold for. 1 copy of Sergio Aragona's Gru the Wanderer sold for $159.99. 4 copies of Spawn Vault Edition sold for an average of $287. 2 copies of Spawn Vault Edition 2 sold for an average of $217.49. 2 copies of Star Wars Artifact Edition sold for an average of $103.99. 2 copies of Star Wars Dark Times Gallery Edition sold for an average of $58. 1 copy of Steranko Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Artist Edition first print sold for $210. 1 copy of the Book of Ballads Original Art Edition sold for $58.62. 1 copy of The Prisoner Original Art Edition sold for $84.77. 1 copy of Wally Wood's EC Stories Artist Edition first print sold for $365. 1 copy of Walter Simonson's Manhunter and Other Stories Artist Edition sold for $99.95. And 1 copy of Will Eisner's The Spirit Artist Edition sold for $130. There were no record setters in December. I mean, we got lots of previous record setters. That David Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again Artist Edition, the highest price is $499.99. The highest price for John Byrne's X-Men Artifact Edition is $500. The highest for Michael Golden's Micronauts is $310. I mean, you're just crazy stuff. All right, those are the sales. I'm still wondering how many of those are from the IDW sale. I see a lot of those that were from the sale, so I guess people are making some money on the resales. I'm going to say those have been dried up now, and we'll go back to more being, I say normal, but I mean, what is normal? We saw record prices early on at the end of the U.S. stimulus checks in 2021. We haven't seen a lot of record setters at the end of the year, so we're going to have to see what happens there. All right. I should mention some housekeeping. I changed the banner on the website from Artist Edition Index to AE Index. I think I'm still going to move towards. I think I may stop calling it Artist Edition Index, and I'll just refer to it as AE Index from now on. Still working on that. Doing it slowly. Like I said, changed the banner. That was the first step. I'm going to look around the site. I may change the podcast name to AE Index Podcast. I may do that this month. When you look at this podcast, you may see that. Part of me says refer to it as AE Index all the time, but then still have small text that says Artist Edition Index. Think about it. I'm still thinking. All right, blurb time. 3 ways to support the AE Index website. First way, please use the purchase links on the site. If you're going to buy a book, and you can click one of my links and buy it through there, and that works out for you. That's great. I get a percentage of that. It could be 1%. I think some of them are 12%. It really varies greatly. So if you have the opportunity to do that, please do so. That would be wonderful. Other option is the store, which has wonderful deals. I really like the store, my store, obviously. eBay takes about 15%, so I'm still hesitant to go on eBay. I think as books sit on my store and don't go anywhere, I'm going to start putting them on eBay. My first step, though, I keep saying it, but I'm going to do it this month. Next month. February is the month. I'm going to be making the page more store-like. I'll be putting images up. I'll put galleries up of each book so people can see. Pretty well, most of the books now I'm selling are still sealed. A couple of them are dinged. I'm offering those at a discount, so there's deals to be had for sure. All right, the third way to support the site is to become a Patron patron. I appreciate it. It's $1 or more, whatever you'd like to support. It's just a way to say, hey, thanks for what you're doing. Here's my support for you. I don't do a lot of exclusives for patrons. I was trying to do a newsletter. Basically, I was just recapping what was on the site. At the beginning, when I started the patrons, I had a few things that were exclusive for patrons, and then that's not really the direction I want to go in. I really want the Patreon to be people thanking me, for the site. I think if there's opportunities to do maybe some exclusive things, I guess I'll try it again this year. Part of me's wanted to actually stop the Patreon, but it gives people an opportunity to say, hey, thanks, then they can do it for a month or 2 months or a few months, or some people have been with me the whole time. Thank you to those people. I greatly appreciate it. But by the way, all the money goes towards buying books and keeping the website running. I'm a couple times I've broken even, which means for that year, what I've taken in and what I've spent level out. But it's not a moneymaker. Please don't think that I'm taking the Patreon money and not giving you anything, and I'm gonna retire to a small island somewhere. That's not the case. As the English language Artist Edition or AE format books have decreased, when we had 3 last year, then I've just increased other books. I've increased French books dramatically. So I've been attracting more French viewers, which I appreciate as well. I should mention, when I do videos, they're not great. Let me preface with that. I'm still working on the lighting. I don't know what it is. I record it on my phone. I have an iPhone 13 now. I had an 11. I record. The light looks good. The colors look great. I edit it on the phone or my iPad. It looks awesome. I put it on my PC, and then I save it to YouTube, and then I look at it at YouTube, and I think, why are the colors washed out? What happened? Where did my editing go wrong? I don't have any background music because I don't want to run into copyright issues. I don't want to talk through the videos because they're flip-throughs. You're seeing every page of the book. That's all I'm trying to accomplish. So all you hear is the pages flipping, and hopefully, me not breathing too loudly. That's the point of the videos. I do encourage everybody to subscribe to my videos, though. That would be really appreciated, because as I get over a certain number, YouTube will let me rename the link I have. Right now, it's some rando link that's really long, and if you don't try and search for me or click on it through my website, you wouldn't find it. But when I get to a certain number of subscribers, I'll be able to rename the link to YouTube /AE Index. So that's my goal. So please subscribe. Greatly appreciated, and you'll see flip-throughs. The only flip-throughs I'm not doing are glossy books. I still have not figured out glossy. I know. I'm working on it. I need, if you're a professional videographer and you've got some tips on how to reduce glare and from glossy pages, please drop me a line, scott@aeindex.org. And of course, that goes for everybody. Any questions you have, scott@aeindex.org. Shoot me an email. Love to get the emails. I mention them on the site. I mention them on the site. I mention them on the podcast. I don't mention them on the site generally because it's really hard to work in an email like that onto the site unless it's something very specific that I can address. On the forums, like this month on the forums, I will mention it because it's before the review. Somebody said, thanks for these reviews. I did the Profiles in History catalogs, and they said, hey, does anybody have any experience with the Heritage catalogs? So I had a friend of mine who is a big dealer. He gets the catalogs for free. So in 2019, he gave me 3 catalogs. And I had them. So I thought, great. So I put up a little, what did I say? I said, this is a look at the auction catalogs of the largest comic art auction house in the world, Heritage. Fans of original comic art are most likely aware of Heritage and its vast online resource of comic art images. They also produce a catalog for every auction that focuses on the platinum section or the big money items. So I took some pictures from the catalogs. The catalogs are 8.5 by 12? Actually, 8.5 by 11. And generally, the 3 I had either contained 54 or 64 pages of original art. Now, this is art you're not going to see probably in an artist edition because it's, single pages. It's comic strip art. It's all over the place. And it is in a catalog. It's smaller. So, the art averages, I put in the review, it averages like 5 3/4 by 8.5, which is pretty small. But you also get a chance to see these pages right in print. And it feels different. You're looking at it in your hand. You're not looking at it on a screen. And it's got a different feel to it. What I was impressed with as I went down the rabbit hole and investigated, Heritage offers an annual subscription to each group. So comic and comic art is a group or a category, right? And for $95 US, you can subscribe to the comic and comic art auction catalogs, and they will send you everything in that 12-month calendar period, $95 US, no shipping. Shipping is included in that. So what are you going to? You're going to get about 5 to 6 catalogs, which is pretty great. I want the ones. I really feel like I missed out on the European art ones. Those are the ones I would definitely have purchased. So I was thinking of maybe getting a subscription. If you want individual catalogs, past catalogs are $25 US, and they're $25 shipping to Canada. So it's $50 US for me to get one catalog, past catalog. So I'm never going to do that. That's insane. But $95 subscription, wow, that seems good. I was looking ahead at the year. They lay everything out pretty well, so you can see what's coming up, where they're going to be, how many you possibly could get for the year. And I think that $95 US, that's pretty worthwhile. I'm going to try and harass my friend and see if he's got any more, and if he'll pass his on to me, that would be even better. But let me know if you're in Europe and you are looking at subscriptions, and see what shipping is to you there, because I think free shipping seems to be the way to go. I should mention as well that every catalog, all the way back to 2007, is available as a PDF. So you can download those and read them on your iPad if you want. Same experience, obviously, not quite, but you'll see what I'm talking about. And then you could judge from there if you'd like to purchase a subscription. Definitely seems worthwhile. I had my fingers crossed that when Profiles in History was purchased by Heritage or folded in or merged, I don't know, whatever term they wanted to use, that they would maybe do some larger catalogs, and I still hold out. Todd Hignite is a fan of original art, obviously. He's high up there at Heritage. He did subscribe to my newsletter shortly, but I lost him. Todd, come back. But I keep meaning to drop him a line and see if there's any interest in maybe doing bigger catalogs, because the beauty of the catalog is they don't need any licensing to be able to print the stuff. So they don't need to reach out to Marvel, DC, every possible publishing company under the sun. That's why you look at these catalogs and it's got art from everybody, right? Just right across the board, which is great to see. All right. That's that. 2 reviews this month, really. That wasn't a review. That was just an overview. 2 reviews this month. One was L'Esprit de Will Eisner, and then after I did that, I remembered a book I'd reviewed for ebabble.net, which is my other website, a couple years ago, and I thought I'm going to redo that with the focus on the art. And that was Will Eisner, The Centennial Celebration, 1917 and 1920 2017. But let's get back to L'Esprit de Will Eisner. Here's the blurb as is translated, by Google Translate and slight editing by me. Will Eisner is one of the most influential authors in American comics. On June 6, 1940, he created The Spirit, a series published in the form of leaves inserted in the Sunday newspapers in which he played with the codes of the comic strip. In 1978, he published A Contract with God, one of the first graphic novels, the first to have a real impact. Will Eisner has spent his entire life teaching and theorizing about his discipline. So I should have said had spent. This bilingual catalog accompanies a beautiful exhibition at the Thomas Henry Museum in Cherbourg-en-Cotentin. It ran from May to August. It was thought of as a monumental comic book, and for good reason. It approaches the size of the original boards reproduced inside. All right, this is a book put together by Editions Toth. It was published in May 2021 for the exhibit. It is 30 centimeters by 45 centimeters. That's 11 and 3/4 inches by 18 inches. It's 58 pages and softcover. 29 euros. I babbled on about the shipping earlier. I've got a link up for BD Fugue. A lot of places had it in stock. This was mentioned on the forums in, I want to say, November, maybe December. And then a bunch of places sold out. BD Fugue got more in. They sent me my 5. They've had a few in and out. It seems to come in and out. I don't know how many copies are going to be left. So if you can, if you see this or hear this, pop on. Actually, let me click the link right now. BD Fugue has none in stock right now, unavailable. So this could be gone, people. I'm sorry. All right, this book is awesome. So it includes. Let me get down and tell you the stories. It includes 4 complete stories, and these have never appeared in the other 2 in the artist editions. And these stories are Mr. McDougal, The Job, Lily Lotus, and the second and final installment of Sans Serif. So this is a beautiful accompaniment to the artist editions for sure, because nothing is repeated. The scans are really nice. They show up well. I love the design. It's so whimsical. So there's a page number in the bottom left corner. There's nothing in the bottom right corner, and it's a little graphic of the spirit in different actions. He's tackling somebody. He's running. It's a great look. I really like those kind of little features. Now, the problem with that, of course, is it creates a higher margin at the bottom. And then I think to myself, well, hopefully that didn't add to the cost that they could, or could the art have been reproduced any larger? It's always the drawbacks. But really, really great stuff. And then we have some essays, which are very nice. There's a typo in one of the essays as they went from French to English. It's spelled future without an E. But that's all I could find as far as everything else was really great. There's an interview with Dennis Kitchen, who met Eisner and did the reprints in the 70s with Kitchen Sink Press. And there's some art from there that's really nice. And just a really overall well-done book. Very well done. I'm so glad I heard about it on the forums. Thank you for that. That's one of the reasons to follow the forum. And yeah. Thanks for that exhibit. I wish I would have been able to go and see that, but what can you do? And there is a flip through on the website, so have a look at that. And that led me into Will Eisner, the Centennial Celebration, 1917 to 2017. And this is another exhibit. This was an exhibit in 2017. Let me give you the blurb. The legacy that Will Eisner had on sequential art cannot be overstated. His innovative storytelling, layouts, and art on his newspaper series, The Spirit, inspired a generation of cartoonists, and his turn toward an acclaimed run of graphic novels beginning in 1978 with A Contract with God helped pioneer the form. This catalog includes over 175 selected illustrations reproduced from the original artwork from the landmark Will Eisner Centennial Celebration exhibitions taking place in 2017 at Le Musée de la Bande Dessinée in Angoulême and the Society of Illustrators in New York. Dual English and French text with essays by Dennis Kitchen, Paul Gravett, and John Lind. So this book is designed by John Lind, the same guy who did the Kitchen Sink Books curator collections. So you can very much see his design sense in this book. Very strongly comes through. This has a ton of original art. It's so it's $50 US. You can still find it available. It's 10 by 14, 176 pages. Came out March 15th, 2017. Really great book. I picked it up right away. I think I had it on pre-order. I reviewed it on eBabble, like I said. Very much the same format as I do on A-Index with, I didn't look at it strictly from the original art aspect, though. A lot of great original art. So just it goes all over the place. I'm just going to get down here. There are some complete stories, but we already see them. So there's 8 complete stories in this book. We get Little Adam, which was in the Spirit Arts Edition Volume 1. We get Quirt, which was in the same book. We get The Island, which was in Will Eisner's The Spirit Arts Edition Volume 2. We get an untitled story that was for the Lindsay campaign for mayor from the New York Herald Tribune. We get to the Capistrano Jewels from the Spirit number 2 from 1973. That's the magazine. We get The Ghost at 226 Fifth Avenue, New York City, New York. Will Eisner's Spirit Casebook of True Haunted Houses and Ghosts from 1976. We get The Ghost Cavalry of Labasse from Will Eisner's Spirit Casebook of True Haunted Houses and Ghosts 1976. And we get A Small Business from The Spirit number 18, 1977. So again, that's another magazine. So we get 8 complete stories, which is nice. 3 we've already seen before, so... But still, if you don't have the artist editions, which I can't believe any fan of Will Eisner would not have them, any fan of original art would not have them. You need to get those artist editions. But the beauty of this book, right? It covers his career, so we get some really great pages. The one story, A Small Business, is laid out really nicely because they had the pencils and they had the inks. So John Lynn puts them with pencils on the left side and inks on the right. And as I mentioned in the review, this makes me think of what the A Contract with God Curators Collection would have looked like had John Lynn done it this way, which is what I actually hoped he would do when he published the book. Instead of doing one book of pencils and one book of inks, imagine if he had done, 2 volumes, each one pencils on one side, inks on the other. I think we would have been able to compare and contrast much more that way, as opposed to having the 2 books open. I think it would have worked out that way. It's too bad it didn't go that way, but what we got, the Contract with God Curators Collection, is a stunning collection of books. Beautiful, in the 2-volume slipcase. So well worth having. If you don't have that, please also get that in. It's sewn binding. It's pretty tight. I could not get the book ready to lay flat. A lot of pressing and holding, and maybe just took my picture before it would go. And then, like I said, this book has much more art from his career, all the way up to some statues he designed. And it's a really great collection. A really nice accompaniment to Will Eisner as far as original art goes. I also have that Paul Levitt's book, which I'm drawing a blank. Will Eisner. Isn't that interesting? I'm forgetting what that book was called. I have that as well, but it's a weird format. It's landscape, and the original art pages are taking up like half the page. So I'm not going to be reviewing that for the AE Index. But 2 Eisner books were just stunning, both of them. If you can get your hands on L'Esprit de Will Eisner, please do so. It's well worth having. And this Will Eisner, the Centennial Celebration, is still widely available. I've got links up for Amazon and eBay. You can find it elsewhere. Please grab a copy of that. All right, that's it for this month. Thanks for listening to me go on and droning. Thankfully, my nose wasn't running today, so there was no sniffling. That's always nice. Check out the site in February. I think there's some exciting things going to happen. I think you're gonna see a review for P. Craig Russell's Symbolist Fantasies and Other Stories. And Other Things, Fine Art Edition, because I've got that in my hands. I received it on Friday. I went through it on the weekend. I'm still reading it. I'm going to try and have my review up for Wednesday. So that'll be there. We've got the results of the 2021 Dunbeer Awards going up tomorrow. I've got a Q&A planned with Scott Dunbier for February, hopefully. And then I've got my interview with... my brain is just turning into liquid as I continue on. My interview with Bob Chapman. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to go as far as an interview. We're talking on the phone, and we'll see what I can get from that and what relates to the Artist Edition Index. I do want to talk to him a lot about Graffiti Design's early days, because that's really, those are my first signed and numbered hardcovers. I was buying those Graffiti editions, just gorgeous. And then what he's done with the gallery editions, which I think is, the pinnacle of what we've seen from this format. All right. Everything that we've talked about here can be found on aeindex.org. So thanks, and we'll talk again next month.
Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she can search this wide world over. She'll never find a sweet man like me.